drives these terrorists, and probably more importantly, how do we stop them?
To try to understand that, you really have to understand what is going on in the mind of a terrorist to create and carry out such a terrible attack. And to do that, we've invited Dr. Nitya Nachmias, an international terrorism expert from Towson University, to join us tonight to shed a little light on that. First of all, it's safe to say that probably very few, if any of us, could even put ourselves in the mindset of a suicide bomber or terrorist. Number one.
Good evening. I think that we have to make a distinction between the disturbed personality of the terrorists and the rationality of their actions. While the head of terrorist organizations must be people with sick minds and disturbed personalities, nonetheless their actions are very rational. They make rational policy decisions, assuming that acts of terrorism are extremely cost-effective, and you get the highest return on investment. Few people with relatively low amount of resources can inflict tremendous pain and tremendous loss, both in property and in life. And actually, they have achieved the major objectives that they wanted to achieve, which is to inflict unacceptable pain on one hand, and on the other hand to terrorize not only the United States, but to terrorize the whole free world. Yeah. Because this is the essence of terrorism. The essence of terrorism is to inflict fear, to terrorize. And they also achieved in humiliating the U.S. government, which is another objective of the terrorist organizations.
Doctor, speaking of...
They want to embarrass the government. They know that they cannot win in a battlefield, so they launch non-conventional warfare.
Yeah, we have to interrupt you very quickly, Doctor, because we have very little time, but in essence, there is no sense of fair play when it comes to terrorism, is there?
Definitely not, and here comes the counter-terrorist dilemma. How do you fight a non-conventional, unfair warfare without actually using terrorist tactics yourself? And I think that this is a major dilemma, and I think that when we are considering our actions and reactions, a number one priority is not to use their tactics and not to move into the realm of terrorism ourselves. But this is a major dilemma.
Very quickly, I'm just wondering, do you think our government can find the people responsible and bring them to justice?
I think that we have a pretty good idea who is responsible, but we do not want to say that. But there is enough evidence to show who is responsible, and there are very few organizations that have the capability and the capacity and the resources, manpower and money to carry out such acts.
All right, Dr. Nitya Nachmias, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you.